Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Do you have a safe drive into work? You know, those hallways can be treacherous sometimes. Absolutely treacherous. And the speed traps, good grief, man. You tripped over the cats. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, wow. Big change today, right? Big change today. That's joke, by the way. Absolutely no change in the market. It still looks like kind of just a sort of a passive type market here, going nowhere. No real direction in the SPY, not yet. And I still believe there's not much of an edge while we're in this area right here. Just choppy, no direction. So I think a couple points that I need to bring up is that line right there. If we get below it, then to me the next direction is going to be down here to retest some of these lows. That's probably not going to fare well on some of the people that's just determined to be long and not abiding by those stops. I put a new line up here this morning, 453, we'll call it 15, basically above this candle, this candle, this candle. Above any one of those three well, they're all about the same. So above 353 and 15 here. If we do that, then I believe there's an outstanding chance that we challenge 465.55. I do believe there's an outstanding chance. But we have to get there first, and, guessing that today's the day, that just might not work out. It certainly might work out today, but it won't work out the next time, we do this guessing game. Guessing just doesn't cut it. Really has no place in trading. It's not long lasting. So we need to watch for those bulls, and if those bulls can break us out here, then, like I say, we're up here. Otherwise, we're just going to hobble around here and do nothing. If we take a look at that chart, I've got the yellow, that's our 3 EMA. The white is the T-line, the 8 EMA, and then Trendicator in here. And you see we've kind of split the difference, very undecided on this. While, let me quickly jump to the diamonds here. You can see that that's undecided. It's just going nowhere. No direction, no help for us, I do not believe. Just no help at all. A lot of chop. If we take a look at the Qs, we kind of have direction here. And the direction is down. Whoops, what happened to my screen? There it is. My screen just went black. We're kind of down. You can see that the yellow again is the 3 EMA, and it's below the Trendicator here. And the T-line is below. It's always, well, I shouldn't. Scratch what I just said. T-line's still above the T-line, but we're below the Trendicator here. So to me, it looks like this is still down, just like it was here. So we just keep moving in this downtrend. I don't think that's good for the market when the Qs are down. And of course, IWM, poor little IWM, this poor little fella just gets beat up to no end here lately. Just cannot catch a break. And it's still in a downtrend. If some of these start moving and changing directions up, then I think we've got something, as long as we stay in this downtrend and this undecided area, like in the SPY, in the diamonds. We just don't go anywhere. It's just going to be everybody swapping punches, and there's certainly a few people make money, but there's a whole lot of people that don't. CTSH, as far as a long goes, I kind of like the way this chart's looking. We have appears to be a bottom. We've rallied up and we've pulled back. We're starting that rally up again. Very nice little a J-hook chart pattern here. Very nice, if you ask me. A good looking J-hook. That does not mean it's going to go anywhere. Doesn't mean it's going to work out. I think it's just a good picture to study here. It's been a 3/8 trap all through these days right in here. Yesterday it broke out. This morning it's kind of playing around in the trap. It's trying to break out of the trap right here. 91.90 up here would be the first area that if I buy this, that's what I'll be looking for. On a breakout there, I'm looking at 95.40 and 97.90 up here for possible targets. Not too shabby all the way up, about 11%. QID. So if the market starts to falter, if the Qs continue to move down, QID might be a trade. This is a long trade. However, what you're doing is you're playing the short side. So you're betting that the Qs are going to go down. It's like buying what am I trying to? I'm trying to say two things: buying a put on the Qs, or just selling the put or selling the Qs short. This is the same thing, but you're doing it long. And here we've had a nice little rally up here. We've pulled back. We gapped up, and we're holding here. Right now, we're setting up a pop out of the box setup on this, on the Qs here. So there we go. So if the Qs start, I'm sorry, if the QQQ starts to break down, then the QID here will pop up. That could be a clue, might trigger some buys in there. Also, inside this box makes sense to buy, with a stop down in here. So here I'm looking at 21 and change, 22 and change, 23 and change. Of course, none of this matters until we get through this 21.40 and change. WY. I like the way this is setting up. I see pre-market it's down, but it's not going to change, the way the chart looks. Here we have a low, high, a higher low, double bottom, big bullish engulf here. It was kicked off with this bullish engulf, and then we had 3 inside days of the bullish engulf here that just part of the rest. Let's put this line up here. Here we go. And when we broke out, this certainly could have been bought on the breakout, showing confirmation over that first bullish engulf candle. That triggered the Trendicator to go green. That would have been a good place right in there. And then, of course, any one of these days. But for those that didn't buy it, then here we have a pullback that might be setting up. And what we're going to wait for is the buyers to step in. Ultimately, it's going to need to break out. In fact, I don't know why that's up there. I guess I just misplaced it. So above 41 and change, I'm going to look for 43 and change, and then 44 and change up here. BK is another one that looks to me like it's headed up higher. Of course, it's got to clear these tops. 65 and change, 66 and change, 68 and change. This started with a nice bullish piercing candle, a very definitive, very matter of fact candlestick here. I mean, it down and then came right back up. We had good consolidation. It did pop up and pull back down. That's, it happens. One thing about this is when it popped up, if this might have been early buying, maybe some people bought this and regretted it. But if we were to pair a few things together, like candlesticks, pair candlesticks together with another indicator, or maybe a couple indicators, that's where candlesticks really shine, is when you can pair them with something. So as an example, we've got this bullish piercing candle, but yet we're still in a downtrend. So if this would have been, a little patience and wait to that Trendicator turn green, then most people that bought this in here would have been much happier. Some folks bought it, they lived with it, and they're really happy right now. But for the folks that rushed in early, got all gooey over the 50 period moving average and all gooey over just the bullish piercing candle, if we just add something like that Trendicator to it, pair something with it, then it becomes an easier trade, I think. A lot less of these days that make you just want to curl up in the fetal position. So here we are now up, low, high, higher low. Now we're up over the Trendicator. Looks like it's working right here. Nice little trend up. We're doing a 3/8 trap breakout today. I think the weekly chart, look at the weekly chart here. It's looking pretty good. 65 and change, 66 and change, 68 and change up there. Okay, so if the SPY starts to head south, then here's SDS for a possible trade. This in QID, nice little inverse ETF. I love these. Every time I talk about these, I always remember the day. I can't remember the person, but I remember the day. Not the exact date, but I remember somebody telling me about these because I had no idea what the inverse ETF were when I first started trading. I had no clue. And they just became a solid group of stocks for me to trade because way back then I only traded long. I didn't understand short. I mean, I was trying to master getting long. Shorting came a little bit later. But here's a nice, bounce off the 50 period moving average. We move up. Just like that QID here, we've got this pop out of the box setting up right there. So if the Qs do start, if the SPY does start to drop a little bit, keep an eye on this. If you like these type of trades, watch for that pop out of the box, bullishness up here, 43 and change. Of course, we're going to have to get through this area before we get 44 and change and 46 and change. Pin, add a little pin in there. So on pin, if it starts to break out of the 50 period moving average here or the 3/8 trap, now I think some people here are actually in this one. If it does start to break out, I would watch that high 52 area, 55, 57 up here. This is a nice little, look at the potential in this. 22% from the 50 period moving average up to 57. That looks very doable to me for a couple of swing trades in there. Nice trend setting up. Overall, the chart pattern looks good. Low, high, higher, low. We come up for a higher high. We snuck up way high, got pulled back, and then it's stabilizing right through here. So pin may have a good future coming up here. So let's keep an eye on that one. Here's a chart. I do know a couple people in the room bought this yesterday. This is a very nice chart. I like this. I'm going to like it way better over the 50 period moving average. Actually, I'm going to raise that up just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to like it way better over, we'll call it 64. 64 would get us up into the high end of yesterday's candle. But more importantly, it would take us over this big candle. It will get us over this candle right in here and start, about the middle of this area, take this out. I think I would like it right there. It's doing a great job down here with a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Fabulous volume yesterday. 72 and change, 78 and change, 83 and change. On looks really good here. Nice job. Like I say, I know a couple people who got that yesterday. Alrighty. The important, I think today, I'm always telling myself, trade when everything is in your favor. I just don't see how this market is in my favor right now. And I know that I not everybody is this way. I'm this way. I find it's better to trade this way. And I mentioned this in the room yesterday. Most people will get a better entry than me. Most. And that's because what I want to wait for is decisiveness, some decision. I want to wait for the crowd to push the gate down. And then what I want to do is when the gate is open, then I want to trade. Something like that. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be the guy that pushes the gate down. So, I'm not one for catching these in here. It's just not my style of trading. Not that it's right or wrong, just not my style. So when I see things like this and the Q's doing what they're doing, the diamonds doing what they're doing, I just don't see this. I just don't see this compelling reason to get out there and risk a lot of money. I get it. We want to stay in the business. I was working with somebody here recently, and they're kind of, well, I told them one way to maybe look at a trade is just trade one share of something until you get comfortable. And I don't think a successful trader is going to do that, but I do think it might be wise to cut things in half or cut them into thirds or quarters, lighten up until we can see an absolute direction. That keeps you in the game, scratches that trading itch that you might have, things like that. But the main thing is to protect your money here. So kind of the way I'm feeling. All right, ladies and gents, you guys take care. Good morning again to everybody. Let's have a wonderful day today, okay? I'll be back here shortly. Thanks.